All right, here we go. I watched your video and I thought it was really awesome, except for one thing that both you and he had problems with. Um, the guy that made that poem, he said that Jesus came to abolish religion. I think he was right, but not in the way that he thought it. And not because the Bible is true. I don't think that the Bible is absolutely true. I think that this really is the Bible is a very big catastrophe of someone completely besmirching someone's name who really was there to abolish religious practices. Um, there have been all sorts of Bible scholars who sat in together, looked at the Bible, looked at the Bible, looked at the Bible, and saw that there were lots of things that wouldn't have made sense for this Jesus guy to have said. Um, most of them including that he was uh, the Lord and Savior. Anything that has any kind of religious context pretty much was like, he probably didn't say that. And it wasn't done that way on purpose. They went back and studied all sorts of different, all the teeny bit of historical accounts that we have from other sources, and none that particularly. These people had devoted their entire lives about understanding the Bible. Most of them ended up atheist. Ironic, huh? Most Bible scholars will end up being atheist or agnostic when they get to the end of it. So they were like, they said, we've studied this and studied this and studied this and studied all the background and studied all of this. It doesn't seem like Jesus said any of this shit. And he said all sorts of, but he did say, it seemed like he said all sorts of things about against the Jewish traditions, and did go through a rampage through a church, tossing aside all of those market stuff. When you look at what they think of Jesus as, it sounds like he's a philosopher who reminds me a lot of the Amazing Atheist. He was literally going against all of the religions. He was literally saying, he didn't say, according to them, he didn't say all this bullshit. And you can search it. I unfortunately don't have that documentation. I heard that from my philosophy professor back when I was going to my previous college. But I'm sure you'll be able to find it. It'll be the one covered with all sorts of Christian comments. No. Jesus really said all of that stuff that's in the red in King James Version because King James Version was the original version. No, it wasn't. And that's the thing. Jesus probably was illiterate, couldn't read or write, didn't write down anything himself. And that's what they say. It was probably likely. So everything was written down for him. These guys that he had following him around, they probably did a lot of PR for him. Probably saying, they are probably the ones that made this whole thing up. That he was the Son of God and all of that. Because early Christians didn't even. Early Christians were debating whether or not he really was the Son of God, or whether he was just a prophet or just a man, or if he even had any kind of religious connotation about him. So, it could quite possibly be that he literally was trying to abolish religion because of all the stupid practices that they were doing back then. And then he got killed, as heretics were fond of getting killed back then. But all these followers were like, who had seen all of these positive policies, all of these positive things that he tried to do. All these positive things that he tried to do, they looked at those and said, these are good. If he wasn't talking bad about religion, we might have gotten these things well through. And then they're like, we reverse that. Clever little bastards. I think that's how it went down. These clever little bastards got this raging atheist before his time to turned his story around so that the masses would be more receptive to it. But you know, that kind of absolution of making someone's views and everything so absolute corrupts. It does. And once that happens, it's the same thing that Jesus tried to eliminate. And that's what Christianity is today. At least, that's my perspective on it. And it may not be very well supported by a lot of historical things, but better supported than the actual Bible. This has been Mav the Wicked, and I will kill you later.